the mass shootings and all of the other situations that were deteriorating in the States at the time. I was told things aren't really that bad, it'll be okay. Are we watching the same events unfold before us? When I told people that I was moving to the UK, there were mixed reactions. Of course, there were some people that were encouraging and positive, but overall, there was a sense that I was overreacting, making an emotional choice. I was giving up on America. Most of them warned me that I would miss home, I was running away from something, and that I would ultimately regret it. 2.5 years into this thing, I'm living the exact life they warned me about. And honestly, I'm not going back unless they make me. This video is not about me hating the United States. I love the United States. It's my home. It's where I grew up. It's where most of my family still lives. It's where I had my child, where I met my partner, where I spent 4 decades of my life. But this is not about any of that. This is about choosing a life that values health, that values peace, and my sanity. So let's have an honest conversation about why I left, what I was warned about, what the naysayers said, and why I'm still glad I did it and would make the same decision that I already made. The first thing that a lot of people wanted to warn me about was that I was going to miss freedom. After all, America is the land of the free, right? The freest country in the world. That's what we're told. That's the lie we're sold from birth. Am I free if I'm going bankrupt because of a medical emergency? Or am I free because I have a pit in my stomach every single day that I send my kid to the bus stop to go to school? Am I free that I'm worried about how my mother is going to be able to retire if she's going to have to end up eating dog food because she can't afford to live and eat anything else? Freedom to worry about getting shot buying groceries or getting into a situation where I am tied to a job because if I leave, not only will I lose my medical benefits and my salary, but it's quite possible that I will lose my house and everything that I've worked for my entire life. That's not freedom to me. In the UK, I might make a little less. My house is a little bit smaller. I might have to get online a little bit more, but I'm not looking over my shoulder constantly. I am not worried about getting sick. I am not worried about retirement not being there when I'm ready to stop working. And I'm not worried about my child going to school with their safety. How am I going to survive without American medical care? There might be the best doctors in America, there might be the latest equipment in America. But if I get sick, I lose everything. Here in the UK, I pay a little bit more in taxes. I might have to wait a little bit longer for something that's not serious, that's not an emergency. But I don't have to worry about having a credit card with me when I walk through the door. And I don't have to worry about having a conversation with my insurance company on the way to the doctor to find out whether or not what I'm about to go into the emergency room for is covered by my insurance. I'm not saying that the National Health Service here is perfect by any means, but I can walk in, get what I need, and walk out without a bill, not having to worry about bills coming into the mail later. It's not perfect, but it works a hell of a lot better than the American healthcare system. People warn me about socialized medicine, but there is socialized medicine in America. Veterans get socialized medicine. Members of Congress and public service get socialized medicine, and it works. So it's just a matter of not wanting to extend that privilege to people that work every single day, to people that are keeping the country going. Why are they not entitled to the same rights as someone who goes to Congress and works half a year? I might still have to wait a long time to get my treatment, but at least I won't have a massive bill at the end of it. You can never afford to live abroad. In the United States, there are cities where rent is $5,000 to $7,000 a month for rent, not even for a really big, luxurious house. When you add on the cost of healthcare, when you add on the cost of childcare, when you add on that most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and have no savings, when you add on the fact that most Americans are drowning in debt and your retirement is tied to the stock market. I've watched entire generations of people work themselves to death just to keep insurance, sacrificing their health to save some money, sacrificing their time with their children, sacrificing their relationships, sacrificing what lights them up inside, what fulfills them, what their true calling in life is, to afford the American dream, which in reality these days is just the basics. In the UK, I do pay a little bit more in taxes. I don't make quite as much money. My house is smaller. However, I can afford to live here. I can afford to travel. I can afford to eat out. I can afford to have a nice Christmas and get the things that I really need without having to worry about going bankrupt. At least when I'm paying my taxes here in the UK, I know that I'm getting something back for it. And it's not just a deduction, it's an actual investment in my life. Another thing a lot of people said to me when I was leaving the United States was that it was an overreaction to what was happening, the mass shootings and all of the other situations that were deteriorating in the States at the time. I was told things aren't really that bad. It'll be okay. Are we watching the same events unfold before us? Every time someone said that to me, I was reminded of the story of the boiling frog. That you can't boil a frog by turning the heat up right away and plopping him in the water. He's just going to jump right out. But what you can do is put the frog in the water and slowly just keep turning up the heat on the water over time until the frog gets acclimated to its environment. Then you turn it up a little bit more. And you keep going until it's to a boil and you're killing the frog. Mass shootings, my child's school having to be locked down, people going into bankruptcy because of a medical illness that they didn't even know they had, people choosing between their medicines and food, abortion rights getting rolled back, teachers being underpaid and overarmed, climate completely being ignored, and public services being defunded. For me and my family and the kind of lifestyle that we wanted to live and what we wanted to provide our child, the writing was on the wall. It was like spray painted in bright red graffiti, and we didn't want to miss an opportunity. And now there's people that are having trouble leaving, and there's people that are getting kicked out that don't want to leave. Now I would ask those people, do you really think I was overreacting? Another thing that I heard when I was leaving the US was that I was turning my back on my country, as if doing something for the betterment of myself and my child and my family and my future was somehow less important than sticking it out for good old US. I'm not turning my back on anything. I'm choosing to live with intention. I'm choosing to live in a place where I feel valued, where I know that my child is going to be safe and actually have a future, where I know that I had the opportunity to retire with dignity and I know I have options. I can love anything from anywhere. I still love America. I will always be an American. It is where I'm from. It's never going to leave me. But loving something comes with responsibility. And the responsibility is that we have to be honest with what America really is right now. It's not the greatest country in the world at the moment. And sometimes the bravest thing that we can do is leave a burning building and not just sit there and wait for someone to put out the fire or rescue you. Sometimes you have to get up and make the choice yourself to change your environment. I was told also, you're going to be extremely lonely and you will definitely regret it. And anyone who has been with me for a while knows I have had many, many struggles in this journey, and I continue to, and I'm sure there's many to come as well. It's never easy to leave everything behind and start over, no matter if it's a new town, if it's a new state, if it's a new country, if it's a new relationship, a new job. There's always learning curves. Culture shock is real, but here I was able to build a community. I was able to make friends. I was able to invest in myself and my future and my family. I walk more, I stress less, My cortisol levels are probably think I'm on vacation because I'm always giddy every time I see a castle or a cobblestone street. I want to know the story behind every single pub. All of that is fascinating. All of that brings me comfort. There are times when I am lonely, but I have my family and I have my community. And I'm never ever more lonely now than I was in the United States. It's just a different set of complications that come with the loneliness and a different way of handling it. The final thing that people kept saying was, I'll never last here. I have to admit, there were times when it crossed my mind that maybe I should just go back. There were times when I questioned whether it was the right decision for me and my family. But for me, I am over the endless grind. I am over the constant anxiety. I am over people saying that guns are more important than children's lives. I'm through with the political circus. If I return home, I want to return home in a positive light. It will always be my home. But that doesn't mean that I have to be there permanently and put up with things that most people in the world wouldn't put up with if they had a choice. And I know that if I do go to the US and any of those anxieties or those stresses start to penetrate my brain, I can come back to the UK and take a breather, maybe make a cup of tea. It is the British way. But I can find a way to relax again and find my path again. And that is not possible for me in the United States. Not anymore. I'm here in the UK living the life that people warned me about. Yet I sleep better at night than I ever have. I have a better relationship with my partner and my child than I've ever had in my life. I don't worry about the sirens. I don't worry about cars backfiring or loud bangs of things falling. I can breathe a future for myself and my family that doesn't feel like I'm constantly in survival mode. If people from the United States think that's extreme, then that's their opinion. They're allowed to have it. But for me, I would gladly take extreme any day. If you are an American living in the UK, I would really love to hear your story. So please leave it in the comments below. If you are an American that's still living in America, I get it. But I am here to tell you that even if you're inside of America, you can still escape, even if it's just in your mind. They cannot take that from you. They'll make you think they can, but they can't. And if you really do want to find a better way, whether it's another country, another state, or it's even within your own little world inside your house, you can do it. And to all of my British followers and those that follow me from other parts of the world, thank you for all of your encouragement. Thank you for all of your support. And thank you for all of your advice. And I hope that this community can rally around anyone else that is looking to make big changes like this with positivity and encouragement. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.